So our lead this hour is from Pro Bouncy Ball. We'll go to Boston. A closeout game for the Celtics, opponent there, the Knicks, to advance. Jalen Brunson and the Knickerbocker traveling party going up I-95. Of course, they flew. Work assignment versus Jaylen Brown and the Celtics, who are weather beaten without Jason Tatum. It was game number 5. Game 5, New York with a chance to level up and play Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana basketball team in the Eastern Conference Finals and wake up the old clips of Reggie Miller from back in the day. But I'm not sure whether you were watching this or not. It was the early game on the basketball card, maybe not. The story here was Derek White, who had 34 points, seven three-point shots through the basket there to lead the Celtics to a laugher. They win 127-102. Ha-ha! In Game 5 against the Knicks on Wednesday night there at the TD Garden, Eastern Conference semifinals. The Celtics, who could not make a three-point shot in multiple games in this series to save their life, connected on 22 three-pointers to post their first home victory of the series, and the first without Jason Tatum following the snap, crackle, pop, goes the Achilles, the tendon injury there. Now, the better story is in the losing locker room where Josh Hart was bloody early in the game. He led the Knicks with 24 points. He did leave briefly, and that was in the first quarter there, a bloody gash with blood all over his face, and that was an omen of things to come for the Knicks there. An inadvertent elbow, and he bled like a tomato. So that was part of the story there. The photos went viral. Jalen Brunson had 22, but a very mellow kind of performance by Brunson there. He fouled out with 7:19 to go in the game. He was out. So the Knicks do not do the thing they were supposed to do at the time they were supposed to do it. And so they will now have another opportunity. They've got 3 chances to win one game. Now they have 2 chances to win one game. The Knicks will try to win the series back in Midtown Manhattan, right over Penn Station there on Friday night. If the Celtics win Game 7, we love Game 7. I want a Game 7. Can we make that happen? We all think positive vibrations. Let's get a Game 7. That would be in Boston on Monday. So let us discuss the question. Why couldn't Jalen Brunson's Knicks close out this series? Why could they not get this done? I've got my observation of this. I've got cocktail, scrub-a-dub-dub, and PSA. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a dirty water dog is what we're going to make. A street dirty water dog, and that's what we're going to do. All right, so number one. I said number one. Yeah. Let's start with the obvious that New York did not play with the same mojo that they had been playing with there. They looked, I don't know that I would use the word disheveled, but they were just a little off. I'm not sure why that was. Some Knickerbocker apologists are saying, well, it was the officials. The NBA wants this to go to 6. They actually want to go to 7. They need a Game 7, blah, 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 blah. Jalen Brunson sounded like the Uber driver call we took last hour. He was very subdued. He was restrained. And several other of the Knicks players were completely frazzled in this game. We'll get to them in a minute. But here's Tom Thibodeau. You'll hear the question and the answer. He's the coach of the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau, on how upsetting this was. Take a listen.
Tom, just off the bat, what most disappointed you tonight?
That we didn't play for 48 minutes. And, the start of the second quarter, we didn't play well. We had a lead. Didn't play tough with the lead. Came out to start the third. Didn't play well there. You can't afford to do that.
Okay. So So individually, I mentioned Brunson, who was fine but needed to be better than that. But the real villain, there was literally nothing redeeming about OG Anunoby's performance. There was nothing redeeming. OG played like he was DOA, not the old gangster. He was DOA. Played like someone spiked his cocktail with elephant tranquilizers. He took 12 shots. He missed 11 of them. Shot less than 10%, 8.3% in a closeout game. Had 2 assists, 2 turnovers, and 3 fouls. How about Mikal Bridges? He's had some bad games, and he saved them with key defensive plays late in games. No chance to do that here. Took 14 shots, missed 10 of them. Missed 10 of the 14 shots he took. That was a pratfall performance by Mikal Bridges. So New York led by 9 in the second quarter. Tom Thibodeau referenced that. They stopped playing. From that point, they were up by 9. To the close of the game, they were outscored by, 35 points, I believe it was, from that point to the end of the game, which I don't think is good. What do I know? I just do the overnight show. I don't think that's good. Maybe it is. Maybe there's some kind of positivity. I don't know what it would be, but who knows? All right, now, page 2. So who was the biggest X factor for Boston? Without Jason Tatum, other people had to step up, as the line goes, and Jaylen Brown was fine. Derek White went bonkers. Derek White was trending. He was silky smooth. He was the smooth operator with all the three-point shots. He put on a shooting clinic there from behind the arc, those money balls. Now, that said, for me, it's scrub-a-dub-dub. Luke Cornett, the scrub. I had to look this guy up. Who the F is Luke Cornett? Who is this guy? And he went out, had 10 points, 9 rebounds, 7 block shots. He went Mutombo. If you're old, you know who that is. 25 minutes. And as Shaq would say, I owe you an apology. I wasn't really familiar with your game. May the force be with you, Luke. Force multiplier. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, and that candlestick keeping hope alive. The flame of hope is alive. Keeping hope alive. Now, Joe Mazzulla gave a bunch of wild sound bites. This guy is total wackadoodle, Joe Mazzulla. So Joe Mazzulla was asked about the mentality for the rest of the series. He said 4 hours ago, he said, we had just one win. We had to win one game, win one game, and now we just have to win one game. That is known as the old wine in new bottle. Old wine in new bottle, a fancy way to say take it one day at a time. Live in the moment. You must live in the moment. Now, the other quote, which was hilarious, from Joe Mazzulla, and it reminded me of a random NFL coach from years ago. Joe Mazzulla was asked about the situation involving Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Porzingis has been there, but hasn't really been there because he's got the gobbledygook, and we're not sure what he has, but it can't be that hard. It can't be that difficult because he's playing, right? I mean, it's not going to kill you, whatever it is. We don't know what it is. It's not contagious, or else he wouldn't be with the team. So we're not sure about that. But Joe Mazzulla, well, I think we have the audio. So this is Joe Mazzulla. Listen to him talk about Kristaps Porzingis and like why he wasn't out there, and take a listen.
Joe, you've always trusted your core lineup. You don't change like the main lineup a ton. You trust your top players. So making the switch going away from KP for the second half, just how difficult of a decision has it been kind of maybe evaluating that throughout the series and then making that call tonight?
He couldn't breathe, and so he was available if absolutely necessary, and so that was just a decision between me and him. He was having just difficulties breathing, but he wanted to be out there, and if we absolutely needed him, we would have been able to go to him and rely on him. But you've seen a lot of that this year. Changing the lineup at halftime is something that we've done a lot, this year, because it just adds a different dimension and can change sub patterns throughout the game. So it's a credit to the guys just buying into what gives us the best chance to win each and every night.
We don't need all that. The money part of it was he couldn't breathe. Like I don't know who edited that, but that's the key part. He couldn't breathe, which reminded me, if you've been with the show a long time, you might remember years ago the Indianapolis Colts had a coach named Chuck Pagano. And it was a primetime game. Chuck Pagano was coaching the Colts. I Forget the name of the quarterback. The quarterback played but wasn't supposed to play, and so after the game, Pagano said he was literally on his deathbed. Is what the coach said. I'll never forget that. He said, I was literally on his deathbed. Now you have Joe Mazzulla saying Porzingis couldn't breathe. So I went back and I looked at the clip. I did not see any oxygen. I did not see any oxygen for Porzingis. So if a man can't breathe, you need oxygen. Fortunately, we can report he has not died, despite not being able to breathe. Okay. All right, final point.
He's literally on his deathbed.
Oh, there it is. That's it. That's Chuck Pagano. That's what year? Do we know what year that was? That's got to be old now. That's a long time ago.
Was that wait, what?
2014.
That's what it says in the
Wow.
system.
Oh man.
That's
was that
wild.
Carson Wentz? Was it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a Hasselback or something. One of the Hasselback guys. I guess look up quarterbacks for the Colts in 2014. Wow, it's been 11 years since that soundbite. I still remember it. Wow. All right, final point. So let's get to the New York side of things. Is this loss by the Knickerbockers, is this loss an anomaly for Tom Thibodeau, his New York squad, or a sign of pending doom? So is this loss an anomaly for New York, or is this a sign of pending doom? Now, I absolutely love Sky is Falling talk radio. I love it. To me, this is a public service announcement. It's a PSA. It's an old school public service announcement from the International Association of Fire Chiefs. Don't play with matches. You're playing with matches. The Knicks are futzing around with matches. And in this case, they're playing with their food. You keep hope alive for the Celtics. You're keeping hope alive. The series has already been handed to New York. You're up 3-1. Tatum goes down. You're up 3-1. So if you look at our audio, we don't have a telestrator because we're on radio, even though there's a camera in here. But if you look at the audio strator, Game 6 becomes do or die. Game 6 becomes don't poop your pants. Game 6 becomes a diaper game. You mess that up, and I would refer you to the chart, F around and find out chart. I've got it right up here. F around and find out. For now, things are okay. It's one game. It doesn't matter. But it sets the foundation. It sets the foundation, that game. Okay? And even in defeat, like the Knicks, they seem to be in fine spirits and all that. They didn't seem too worked up. There was one moment, I saw this clip making the rounds on the socials at the Garden there in Boston. After Jalen Brunson had fouled out, they put him on the Jumbotron, and he waved to the crowd. And it was hilarious because he's on the scoreboard, and somebody took this video from the upper deck. And so you see Brunson sitting on the Knicks bench, but you can see it through the scoreboard, and he's waving at the crowd. It was pretty funny. And they had a watch party in Manhattan. A bunch of Knick lapdogs were out there, and they were chanting. Well, they were originally chanting, they're going to win, and then they moved to Knicks in 6, with the series now headed back to Madison Square Garden on Friday night. You blow that, and then it's a do-or-die Game 7 in Boston, and that puts the Knicks on notice, choking dog notice. Choking dog notice. And despite having some family that like the Knicks, I look at this as an opportunity. If the Knicks can blow this on Friday, how awesome it would be to see Tracy Morgan go out there and give a pep talk to the Knicks before Game 7, and then watch them go out and projectile vomit like Tracy Morgan does at Knicks games all over the court in a Game 7. So and those other celebrities on Celebrity Row and all that. Man, that would be fun to watch all them cry. Oh, God, that would be cool. Man, would I love that. All right.